am really excited about this project. I am taking the trees from Lovely as a Tree right here. I'm going to stamp them in soft suede. Then I am going to use the end of a pencil eraser and I'm going to create the leaves using crushed curry, calypso coral, and blackberry bliss. So let's do this. All right, now that we have the trees stamped, and I like this soft suede. It's a dark brown, but it's not like too black, but it's not too light. I just think it's the perfect color for tree trunks, but it's called soft suede. All right, and I'm using my Stampin' Chamois to clean my stamps off. I don't know if you can see it off on the side of the camera, but that's, and I'm also using it to clean off the end of the eraser each time also. All right, let's start with our lightest color first. And we just dip it in the ink, and I have some scratch paper here so I can like kind of test it out. The edges of the eraser can get a lot and create like a ring if you press down too hard. So this is what I mean by that. And then I do it again. Those actually look pretty good. Sometimes though you'll get this edge, and so just be careful as you're stamping. All right, and I just start, you know, in the middle of the tree, and I just kind of go around randomly stamping yellow. All right, now I have a lot of yellow on here, and I'm going to go over some of that with the Calypso Coral and the Blackberry Bliss. So getting a lot of yellow is okay. You wouldn't want to get a lot of Blackberry Bliss though, or you wouldn't see any of the colors peeking it behind anymore. All right, we're going to move on to Calypso Coral. And the reason I chose these three colors is because of the designer series paper I'm using. And this is from our teacup, our tea designer series paper, but it has the Calypso Coral, the Blackberry Bliss, and the crushed curry. So that's where my color choices came from. And I thought they looked like fall colors all together. All right, now this darker, I don't want to press down too hard. I don't want big dark circles. I just want hints of color. So I'm just kind of lightly, not all over, because I do want the yellow to poke through. There we go. Okay, that looks good so far. And our last color, the Blackberry Bliss. Like I said, this is a super dark color, so you really want to stamp off a couple of times. See how dark that's almost black. Well, Blackberry Bliss, ha. And so I just stamped off a couple of times, and I'm just throwing a couple in there. Not very much. I don't want too much. And very lightly. Okay, I like it. Perfect. Now, our grass down here at the bottom, I'm just going to take a sponge dauber, and I'm just going to get a little yellow down there. And of course I want to rub my dauber off as much as I can first. I don't want too much on there. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is I want to do some edging, but I want to do that with the darker color. So I'm getting a sponge for my Blackberry Bliss. And this I definitely want to rub off before. See how dark that is? I so don't want that much dark. And I just very lightly am kind of going around the edges here. Not very much at all. Just a hint of color. All right. So that just kind of gives it some definition. I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Okay. Now that I have done my trees and I've shown you this technique using the rubber eraser, I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to put it together and create a card. So let me close up all my inks here for just a sec. And I'll show you all the pieces and then the finished project. All right. So I have a base card. Whoops, all these little dimensionals on here. All right, let me get all this out of the way. There we go. All right, so I have my base card, and all of the dimensions for the paper And all of the written directions, all the details will be on my blog. And I will have a link to that blog post in the description below. So here I have crushed curry. It is cut 4 1/4 by 11, and then it's folded in half at the 5 1/2, and then 2 inches are folded back. Okay, and this piece is going right inside the card like that. So a little bit of the trees are going to be poking out. Okay, and I'm just going to use some liquid glue to hold it all down. And the reason I like liquid glue, because if you stick it down and you need to move, you've got just a sec, but you can move it around if you need to. But I tell you what, once it's down, it's not coming up, so that's good too. Okay, we have our trees, very cute. Now let's get all the rest of our card in here. So this piece, like I said, this is from the Tea Room Designer Series paper. I'm just going to put that piece right there. And you can see the back of this piece has this beautiful calypso coral, and we're going to use that also on another flap. So let's put this here. And I am going to bump it all the way up. See what I mean by the glue is wet enough to where you can still kind of move it a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I wanted it right up to the edge, right there. And then I'm taking a piece of the back, and I'm going to place that here. And I'm going to leave a little gap here because I'm going to tie some twine. I want it to have some of that yellow showing for the blackberry twine. It's a part of our nature's twine. I just love it. Okay, and so this is going to bump up to this edge over here. Okay. All right. Now, and here's my blackberry twine, and I'm just going to tie this on. I'm just going to do a knot. I'm not going to do a bow. And also, if you need a third hand, these kind of tweezers are awesome, where they stay together when you're not touching them, and you squeeze them to open them. So that kind of gives you an extra hand. And I'm putting my little knot down here at the bottom. So just stick my tweezers in here to hold that for me. Okay, pull them out, tighten it. Now, one thing I am also going to do is I'm going to shred that a little bit so it gives it a little more something. Let me trim it down some. What I mean by that is if you take the twine and you kind of poke it to separate the strands. There we go. So I'm just twisting. Just to kind of give it a little something. I think I might even trim those down some more. I think that knot might be a little long, but let me put the rest of it on here. All right, so this set is a part of our Falling for Leaves set, and it has this beautiful stamp. Okay, so that's where I stamped Blackberry Bliss paper with Blackberry Bliss ink, and I got the tone on tone. Then this piece, we have a thinlits that go with this, and so I cut this out with this piece here. This also has this beautiful edge. I was thinking about using that, but I didn't. There's all wonderful framelits that go with that set. But I am just taking this, and I'm going to place this one here. Actually, I might put it underneath. I'm not sure. Okay, and then this one on top. And I'm going to stick those up on dimensionals. I do want my knot to come down some, and I also want to make the ends shorter. So let me do that. Okay. And I also found maybe if I took the piercing tool, so we have a piercing tool on the end of our pick it up tool, and that, oh yeah, that's much easier to do than with fingers, and just kind of separate those. Oh yeah, that's cute. Okay. Yay. Now, I have another trick for you, and that is adhering a very detailed, delicately cut out, detailed framelit. You can use the fine-tipped glue However, the glue will still stick out. So what I like to do is take my silicone mat, and I'm just going to turn it over, and then I'm going to take my tape runner, and starting just in the middle of my leaf, I'm just going to come down and put some adhesive on there. And the trick is, and even on the stem, the trick is when you flip it over, this adhesive will not stick to the silicone mat. And we do sell these silicone mats in our catalog. They are amazing. Adhesive just does not stick to them. And so I'm just taking my finger and I'm just rubbing the adhesive, and it just makes these little balls and it just wipes right off. Okay, and then peel up the leaf, and it's got adhesive on the back. And then take my other leaf, and I want to position it kind of at an angle. There we go. And voila. Now I'm going to take my dimensionals and get my silicone mat out of the way. And I want to raise the leaf up on the dimensionals. So I'm looking, because I don't want to put a dimensional where the string would be. So it looks like just kind of on this side will be plenty. So there we go. Oops, I'd already taken that one off. Okay. And now, make sure this doesn't get trapped underneath. Just put it right there. That looks good. Okay. We have our little string there. Whoops. Okay, we have one last piece. That looks pretty awesome, huh? Got a couple more pieces to do here. First of all, we need a sentiment. And so I have stamped this using the Thankful here onto some Very Vanilla, and I'm just going to place that right there. And I'm going to put that up on dimensionals also. Okay, so here we have our finished card. And remember, I used Falling Leaves stamp set, and that's where I got the Thankful and these leaves here. And also, the inside, I put the saying, thinking of you with a grateful heart. So all of that came from Falling Leaves. These trees here came from our set called Lovely as a Tree, and it's this stamp down here at the bottom. We call this a Z fold because it kind of looks like a Z. And it's just a fun card to make. It just gives it that little special something. Today's technique, I showed you guys how to make leaves with the end of a pencil eraser. So I just used my 3 colors, Crushed Curry and Calypso Coral and Blackberry Bliss. And I just made leaves. It's a lot of fun. It's a really easy card to make. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I upload a new tutorial every Friday, so be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any. There's also a little bell you can click so you're notified when I've uploaded a new video. If you like card tutorials and are looking for some more, I also, with my email subscribers, send out an email every week that has pictures and written instructions for that week's card tutorial. I also include any new products or sales or promotions that Stampin' Up! Is doing. One more thing, I also have right now the 12 weeks of Christmas going on. So it's a bonus card tutorial right now. So you get 2 card tutorials a week. One is a regular card and the other is a Christmas card. And so that's lots of fun. So more incentive for you to sign up for my email subscription. Okay. Like I said, I hope you guys liked this card tutorial. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with your crafty friends and let them know about Creating with Kristina. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for watching, and we will talk at you next time. Bye-bye.